Hi there. Let's look at the 13 colonies. Let's start with New England. In 1620, the colony of Plymouth was founded by the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims were a Christian group who came to America to escape persecution in Britain, and they wrote the Mayflower Compact, which was a document signed by the Pilgrims to establish self government. Now, New England has really rocky soil, long winters, and super cold temperatures, which forced settlers to have really small farms. Instead, settlers had to rely on fishing and the lumber from the mountains in order to build ships. New England was settled mostly for religious reasons. Roger Williams and Anne Hutchinson left the original colony of Massachusetts to start the colony of Rhode Island based on the idea of religious toleration. Thomas Hooker established the colony of Connecticut, which was governed by a set of rules called the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, which is the first form of a constitution as we know it today. The middle colonies were quite different. Located between the New England colonies and the southern colonies, the soil was good and the moderate growing seasons allowed for large grain farms, earning the middle colonies the nickname the breadbasket for the plethora of grains that it grew. The colony of Pennsylvania was established by William Penn as a safe haven for Quakers. They were the first known anti slavery group in the Americas. Lastly, we have the southern colonies. The colony of Maryland was founded by Lord Baltimore as a place for Catholics to escape persecution. The colonies of Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina were established for economic reasons. The colony of Georgia was established by James Oglethorpe as a place for debtors and convicts to start a new life. The South had fertile soil and long growing seasons, which allowed many settlers to plant cash crops on large farms called plantations, mostly focusing on the growing of tobacco. Because of this plantation systems, the slave trade became very prominent in the South. It is not only important to know facts about each region, it is important to know where each region is located on a map. Our green circle represents our New England colonies, the pink circle, the middle, and then finally that purple circle represents the southern colonies. Plymouth Rock is located in modern day Massachusetts, which is represented by the yellow circle. The green circle represents Jamestown, located in Virginia. Another important element to focus on is the Appalachian Mountains, located as a border between the original 13 colonies and the rest of the United States. And then lastly, it is important to know where the Mississippi is located, represented by that blue line, as that will become a boundary line later in our history lessons. Let's take a minute to recap. Now would be a great time to pause your video in order to take notes as needed. Let's start off with New England and the Mayflower Compact. This is the first form of self-government in the colonies. The colonists ended up creating either a self-government or a representative government in their colonial regions due to the distance away from the king. New England was known for its cold winters and rocky soil, causing the colonists to have to rely on building ships as well as fishing to make money. The New England colonies were also established for religious reasons, starting off with Massachusetts. Anne Hutchins and Thomas Hooker were known for creating other colonies such as Rhode Island and Connecticut. The first colony established in New England was Plymouth, thanks to the Pilgrims. The middle colonies had town hall meetings for their form of government. They also had very mild weather and good soil, which made it great for growing grains. They were also known for having skilled craftsmen such as blacksmiths and clockmakers. They also had a religious group known as the Quakers. In Pennsylvania, you have William Penn leading the Quaker group. Lastly, we have the southern colonies. The southern colonies were known for its hot, humid weather and fertile soil. They relied heavily on the slave trade for the plantations, and the southern colonies had something called the Virginia House of Burgesses, which is our first form of a legislative branch in the colonies today. Last but not least, we have Jamestown, established in the colony of Virginia, which is the first permanent British settlement. Thanks so much for watching today.